Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And that's your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi, folks. Welcome back. I saw this portion of the backstage video that the Daily Wire does. I'm a member of the Daily Wire, so you get to watch member content only. This is probably on YouTube as well. And they were talking about how the progressives and the left destroy people's lives if they can't get them from what they don't like them to say online. They go after their advertisers and their sponsors. And Jeremy, one of the founders of Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro, has some suggestions on what to do, and I have as well. So let's listen to this short little clip here.
People ask me all the time, what can we do to fight back against cancel culture? I mean, I get tweets, I get DMs, I get emails. What can we do to fight back against cancel culture? And the answer is, you actually have to support the people who fight against cancel culture. And that sometimes means people who you don't necessarily like everything about them.
That's right. That's right.
And you have to actually focus on the parts of conversations that matter. So, for example, I think what Kyle Rittenhouse did was dumb. I don't think Kyle Rittenhouse should have been out there defending those buildings. Not because there isn't virtue in defending those buildings. There is. But because I think that a 17-year-old young man arming himself with a rifle and going and standing in front of that business was not wise. I think it showed a lack of judgment. The kind of lack of judgment I expect from a 17-year-old. Doesn't mean that I think he's of low character. Certainly doesn't mean that I don't think he's
might be
brave.
Too high a character.
Maybe too high a character. I don't think he should have been there. That would be a fun debate for you and I to have on a backstage. We'd probably engage in that debate if they weren't trying to destroy Kyle Rittenhouse. Right. Because they're trying to destroy Kyle Rittenhouse, I'm not going to get hung up on should Kyle Rittenhouse have been there. That's not the interesting part of the story.
No, he's absolutely right. They go after people. They lie. They stretch the truth as being kind. They say all kinds of horrible things. I'm not talking about Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm talking about people, products they don't like. And it's out of control. Out of control. I mean, let's talk about this a little bit. How do we fight back? How do we fight back against these very powerful progressives and leftists that control media and social media? That they threaten companies if they don't do this or that, or if they don't fire a certain person, we're going to boycott. And what they talked about later, if you go to the Daily Wire, you'll see the rest of it is, we just basically tell them to shove it. And we go after them. I'll give you an idea. Maybe I didn't explain that properly. That we get a hold of companies. In this case, you see Dave Chappelle. Now, 90% of Dave Chappelle's political beliefs, I don't go along with at all. He's a funny guy. He's very funny. And he goes after both sides fairly equally, but personally, he's pretty far left. He's also a Second Amendment proponent. Dave Chappelle actually said, and I'm paraphrasing, the reason why the First Amendment free speech is first and the Second Amendment is second, the right to own and bear arms, is just in case the First Amendment doesn't work out. He actually said that. And they're trying to cancel him. So what I'm trying to make is we can fight back by doing this. In this case, with Dave, you somehow, if Dave is canceled off of Netflix, we're going to cancel our Netflix subscription. And you get a hold of your cable company and you say that. You write them letters, you send them emails, you organize and say, if you take Dave Chappelle off, we are canceling our subscription and we're canceling you. Because it's gone too far. Here's Dave Portnoy. Dave's a very rich guy, $100+ million net worth. He makes no bones about the fact that he likes to have sexual relations with women. Okay, he's single, all consensual. And there was a hit piece put out about him in Business Insider about how all these women he's been with and the rough SCX that he has and all this other stuff. And he owns One Bite Pizza there. You see it. Okay. Nobody ever said he broke the law. Nobody said it wasn't consensual. Nobody said anything was wrong legally. He's a grown man, can do what he wants. Now, many of us, including myself, don't think that's cool. Just to sleep with as many women as you want to. But, hey, you know, that's your thing. But here's the point. Even if you don't agree with Dave, what they're doing to him is wrong. Now, he owns One Bite Pizza, which is available in Walmart and other places as well. So how to fight back? Start buying One Bite Pizza. Getting a hold of Walmart. I know it's tough. Get an email campaign, a letter campaign. Talk to managers and say, you get rid of Dave Portnoy's One Bite Pizza, we're going to stop spending money in your Walmart. That's what you need to do. Gina Carano. She was in The Mandalorian, if you remember. She made a comment about dehumanizing people. That she was talking about just, you know, it wasn't just about the vaccines, but it was making people less human than others. And she made the point that's what they did in Nazi Germany. And that didn't turn out too well. And for that, she was fired off The Mandalorian, one of the most popular Star Wars spin-offs ever. Well, these morons managed to screw up Star Wars. You know, that's like idiot-proof. They managed to do it. But The Mandalorian was one of the few shows that kept true to the Star Wars tradition because George Lucas doesn't own Lucasfilms anymore. And so she got together with Ben Shapiro after being fired. They started a movie. In fact, this is their third movie the Daily Wire has done now. The first one is Run, Hide, Fight. That's their way of fighting back. Starting in the culture war. That's Ben's way of fighting back because he's originally from California and Hollywood. Now lives in Tennessee. He grew up there. His parents worked in the movie and TV industry. He knows. Fight back with the same weapons they're using against you. Make a long story short, Gina Carano was doing a movie, and it was all union, and it was forced vaccine. She wanted no part of it. So they canceled the entire movie, and they're starting a new one now, Terror on the Prairie, which is supposed to be incredibly good. So I would encourage everyone to watch any of the movies that Ms. Carano makes, because they did to her, and that's how we fight back. You send letters to the production company or Lucasfilm now and say, I'm going to cancel my Disney subscription because of what you guys did. I'm going to stop buying your products. I'm going to stop watching your movies and television shows. Here we have James Woods, an incredibly good actor. He's conservative. And he's been put off a lot of shows, or probably not even considered. He's basically retired now. And they are trying to destroy him. So the organizations that go after individuals like James Woods, you go after them. Now, these morons, these progressive leftist morons, even went after Joe Rogan. Now, Joe Rogan is a pretty good lefty, but I like Joe as a person and as a podcaster. He's just a regular guy. God, I wish I had started 10 years ago. Maybe I'd be close to the popularity of Joe. But Joe tells it like it is, whether you like it or not. And these mental pygmies went after Joe, and now they're after his sponsors. Joe is probably the most listened to individual, at least in the United States, maybe even the Western Hemisphere. That's how huge he is. He is huge. And they went after him. So you tell Joe's sponsors, listen, you pull away from Joe Rogan, we'll stop buying your products. We will. It's time to fight back. And that's how we fight back. Whether you like Joe or not is immaterial. John Voight, Academy Award winner. He won it for Coming Home, I believe, with Jane Fonda, of all people. Very conservative guy. Their roles have been taken away from him, sponsorships that he's had. If you hear about maybe a project that he was going to be on, they didn't because of his political views. You get a hold of that movie company or that cable company or that pay TV company and say, you do that again, I'm canceling my subscription. I'm going to get a campaign going to stop giving you people money. Then we get to Kyle Rittenhouse. Like Jeremy said before, was it really the smartest move in the world to go to Kenosha at 17 years old to help defend property there? Probably not. That's not the point. They're trying to destroy this kid's life. You're going to see he simply defended himself. It's really that simple. Now, did he put himself in a situation he probably shouldn't have been? Yeah. It's like you said, but that's a different issue entirely. Not only do they want to make their point and prove their case, these leftists and progressives, they want to destroy this kid's life forever. Even when he's not in jail, they're going to try to make his life miserable and unlivable. And it's amazing. And anybody that goes along with that, any cable, any media, CNN, MSNBC, any websites, you get a hold of them, get a campaign and say, I'm going to stop going on your website. I'm going to stop buying your product. I'm going to stop watching your broadcasts. Here's another one, the Post Millennial. You see the young lady, second from the right, is Libby Emmons. She's on Tim Pool, Timcast IRL quite often. I like Libby a lot. She's really cool. Think the world of her. She's an old lefty, but they're telling the truth on their website. And you see on the right there is Andy No, who is the enemy of progressives for telling the truth about Antifa in the BLM riots over last summer. They're going after the post-millennials sponsors. Find out who the post-millennial sponsors are. Get a campaign going, emails, letters, phone calls, and say you withdraw your support from the post-millennial because pressure of progressives will stop buying your products. That's how you fight back. And on top of that, go to the post-millennial and donate. And make it a point to tell them, I stopped drinking your soda, and so did 50 of my friends I've convinced, and they're going to try to convince 50 people each because of what you did. Like Coca-Cola. I'm not picking on Coke individually. I'm a Diet Coke guy. I always have been since I was a kid. I stopped drinking. I cut way back on Coke. I still drink a little, I'm going to admit. But I don't drink as much. I switched to other brands because of their woke nonsense. I haven't watched an NFL football game. This would be the second year. I don't even watch highlight films. Nothing. They don't get my attention, and my attention is money, even though I'm not spending it. But in Coke's case, get a hold of Coke. Get a hold of the local distributor. Most of the distributors are Coke-owned and not private. Even if they're privately owned, get a hold of them and say, hey, you pulled your sponsorship, say, from the Post Millennial or the Daily Wire or whoever because of pressure from progressives and woke people. I'm not putting up with it anymore. I'm not giving you my money anymore. And then we get to this. Aunt Jemima, one of the most culturally icons in the United States. And you see Uncle Ben there on the left. They pulled both of those. Aunt Jemima now is going to be known as the Pearl Milling Company. I'm not sure. I think it's Pillsbury. I'm not sure who the owner of Uncle Ben's and Aunt Jemima is because they caved to woke BS. You get a hold of that company. They have a PR department, believe me. And you get an email campaign going. Get 10, 15, 20 people. You would be surprised. And chastise them. In fact, the relatives of the lady that originally posed for the picture of Aunt Jemima and also Uncle Ben, I believe they said his name is Frank, they are really pissed. This is an American icon. This isn't racist. There's a picture on the right of an original pin. Eat a better breakfast. And there's the picture up on the right. They changed the picture with the times. Uncle Ben. Look at this gentleman with his bow tie. Icon. They're trying to erase people of color from culture. Because if you put people of color in culture, it's racist. These people are nuts. The only way to fight back is with your dollars. I will never buy Aunt Jemima again, and I thought it was a damn good product, frankly. Now, I haven't bought Uncle Ben's in a few years, but any product that these companies make now, and I'm going to look them up one by one, I'm not going to buy them anymore. I am not going to buy them anymore. Even Mr. Potato Head, in fact, you go back in my videos, I have a pretty good size. I have several hundred, if not 1,000 odd potato heads in my collection. And when I had my business, I did a video on it if you want to go back and check it out. They were going to cancel Mr. Potato Head. And this is Hasbro, I believe. Get all the Hasbro. They have our PR department and say, I'm never buying another Hasbro product again. Ever. And I'm going to convince as many people as I can not to do it as well. You people are nuts. You're caving in to fringe lunatics. My Pillow. Now, Mike Lindell, a lot of stuff that he believes, I don't believe at all. That's not the point. You don't have the right to destroy his life because of his beliefs. That's a personal choice a consumer can make. Now they're threatening all the cable stations that carry his commercials. That's wrong. So we need to support Mike, even if we don't like him, just like Jeremy said. Even if you don't like Dave Chappelle or Portnoy or any of those. Now we have to defend them because you can't cancel people out. That's censorship. And it's crazy. It's crazy as hell. It really is. So what do? This is how we start to fight back. The battle is starting to get heated a little bit. This is the beginning, we'll call it the opening shots of the culture war. Remember something, the 48% of the people that think this is all BS and the fringe lunatics on the left that are controlling the narrative, that are causing billion-dollar corporations. Look at what happened to the NBA. Look at LeBron James sticking up for China. My God, my God. Like I said, I haven't watched an NFL game, and this will be my second year, not even the highlights. I refuse to give them my viewership, which is money. I refuse to buy an NFL-sanctioned product. I refuse to watch the NBA anymore. The only thing I'd really like is hockey. They haven't managed to screw that up yet, and those of you down south probably don't like that, but I love hockey. And if they do something stupid, I'll stop watching them. Why? Because you really have the power. You have the control with your viewership, which is your dollars. Make sure, though, when you stop buying their products, like Aunt Jemima, who makes Aunt Jemima, or Uncle Ben's, or Hasbro, whoever it is, if they go after Joe Rogan's sponsors, you find out who those sponsors are, easy enough, and start in their PR department and say, I am never going to buy your product again because of what you did. It's censorship. It's censorship. And it's wrong and it's evil. Now's the time to start fighting back. The Democrats and the progressives and the leftists are on their back foot. There's a story I'm going to put out here that you're not going to believe, that now they're starting to condone, we'll say, I can't say this because the algorithm will pick it up, individuals that are attracted to minors. It's insane. Now is the time to push back. You know, it's if we don't do this now, we're never going to be able to stop them. And it's going to be too late. You have power you don't know you have with your viewership and your dollars and your connections with other decent people, and use their money and use their eyes and viewership to finally say no. No, 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 no. You are not going to cancel people. You are not going to censor people. And if you do, there will be a price to pay. Believe me, I was a businessman for over 20 years, and all these big corporations give a damn about is plain old money. There are few They do have scruples and morals, but the most are just after as much money as they can, which is that's their thing. That's fine. But they cave in to these progressive woke nonsense and censor people and stop sponsorships, stop giving them their money, and make sure that you tell them and all of your friends tell them in emails, letters, and phone calls why you're not subscribing to Netflix anymore, why you're not buying Aunt Jemima, why you're not buying Uncle Ben's, why Hasbro, why you're not going to buy their toys anymore, and on and on and on. And that's the way you can fight back the average person with no resources and is not well known and popular and powerful in the media. You have more power than you think. Now is the time to go ahead and do the right thing. You're stronger than you think. And until next time, goodbye and good luck.